Hi guys, my name's Ryan Tuckwood. I'm one of the co-founders here at ISR Training and Recruitment. Now, over the years, we have trialed, tested a magnitude of different sales methods from a lot of different resources. I know Jack will have already spoken about it previously, but we've finally been able to narrow down to a style that suits our personalities, but most importantly, suits the marketplace in 2017. Now, you might be watching this in 30, 40, 50 years time, but I genuinely believe, hand on heart, but the method that we have created is here to stay and will work for a very, very long time. Now, it is called the SWISH Method to sales. Jack will have touched upon it previously as well. Now, hopefully you were listening to him and you remember what it stands for, but it's an acronym. It stands for Selling with Integrity and Selling Honestly. SWISH. Selling with Integrity and Selling Honestly. Now, what does it mean? Now, a lot of you may have had previous sales training or negotiation training, or some of you might have never sold a thing before in your life. Now, that's okay, but you may have a pre-misconceived misconception about what sales is. You might think that sales is about lying, about fabricating stories, it's all about making a commission. Well, guess what? I used to think that too, because a little bit about my background, I am not from a sales background. I was an engineer for 8 years back in the UK. I moved over here to Australia in 2010. I was 27 years old at the time. So in my opinion, I started out in the sales industry way too late. I wish I'd have learned these skills a lot younger, but hey ho, we can't look backwards. Now, when I joined the sales industry per se, as I said, I had all those misconceptions myself, and I got trained to be a ruthless salesperson. I used to have to bully and manipulate and influence and convince people to take action. I hate the word convince. The first 3 letters of the word convince are con. We should never be looking to con anybody. We should be looking to inspire people to take action. So that is what the SWISH method of sales is designed to do. Now, how do we do that? In a nutshell, we consult. We only ever try to sell to somebody when we genuinely know they're going to benefit from our product or service. But how do you know if they're going to benefit from your product or service unless you've gone through a consultation phase? Now, Jack is going to go through our negotiation ladder with you, and one of those steps is consultation. Now, that is the most important. Now, previously in my consultation phase, when I first got trained in sales, I was told to spend roughly around about 10 to 15% of my time finding out about my customers' wants and their needs. And then I was told to get into my presentation as quickly as possible. Start telling them how wonderful my product or service is. Talking about how wonderful my company is. Completely disregarding the needs and the wants of my customer. And then I was told to get to the first no as quickly as possible and get into the close as quickly as possible. Now, I did that, don't get me wrong. I did as I was told. I was an employee, I was a very good employee. I was the first one in, I was the last one out. I would outwork everybody. And I had fantastic results from doing that. Not to start with mine, I had terrible results for the first few months. But I had really good results because I outworked a lot of people. However, I was getting a lot of rejection. I was getting a lot of resistance, a lot of, no, I'm not interested. I've got to talk to my wife. I've got to talk to my husband. I've got to talk to my business partner. I'm busy at the minute. I'm about to get in the car. Everything that I'm sure you guys have heard before. And if you've not started out in sales, get ready because you're going to hear it every single day. Now, what I started to do slowly over the years was realize that, hold on a second, why am I getting so much resistance? It's because I'm proposing something that customers don't want, but I can't find out what they want because I haven't asked any questions. So I flipped the business model on its head. I wanted to spend way more time in the consulting phase. So as a loose sort of percentage, I then started to spend 50, 60, 70% of my time finding out about my the genuine wants and the needs of my customer. In the end, I've got it up to about 80, 85%. So if you're on the phone for 10 minutes, for over 8 minutes, you should be really breaking down what your customers' wants and needs are. Okay, now what I mean by wants and needs is the root cause to why people are going to take action. Now, anybody that knows me will know that I do not come from an affluent background. I do not come from a rich family. My father has had cancer for the last 17 years. He's unable to work. He's a little bit disfigured from it. My mum, bless her, has been working 70, 80 hours every single week to make ends meet. And she's paying all of the bills. Now, that's sound like a bit of a sob story. I could use that one as a way to go, oh well, I'll just get on with it. I'll just get a job and I'll be average. or I can use it as my catalyst and my why to say, I'm going to work 16, 17, 18 hours a day because I want to provide for them in the future. And most importantly, if somebody's got a value proposition for me and it can benefit me and help me achieve that for my family, if they can get to my root cause, which is my family, they're going to inspire me to take action. So the reason I tell you that story is that if you can get to people's genuine root cause, the fact that they're working 100 hours a week, the fact that they don't get to spend time with their kids or their family or watch their kids play sport on a weekend, and your value proposition, service or product can alleviate that pain, then maybe you'll be able to inspire them to take action as well. So that is what the SWISH method is designed to do. Remembering we have two things as a human being. We have emotions and we have logic. People buy on emotion and they justify on logic. If you're just going numbers, 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 and then you offer 50% off at the end and they never really liked your product anyway, it won't make any difference. My wife is notorious for buying clothes and shoes, etc., as I'm sure a lot of women are out there. A lot of men as well. I love fashion as well, to be fair. But she will come home to me, she'll say, Ryan, I've just bought a new pair of shoes. I'll say, fantastic, how much were they? She'll say they were half price. I'll go, hold on a second, I didn't ask you that. I said, how much were they? She'll say they were half price. Now, what is she doing there? She's actually convinced herself that they were a need because they were half price. That was the logic that pushed her over the line. The emotion of finding them shoes initially and seeing that they were a color that she didn't have already was enough to get her interested and make her want them. So she wanted them so much, and then the logic of 50% off was enough to push her over the line. So the want then turned into a need. Now, as human beings, we only have 4 basic needs in life: oxygen, food, water, and shelter. Oxygen, food, water, and shelter. You notice I don't say money in there. Ask yourself this question: what do you need in life? Most people I ever speak to in coaching sessions, anywhere around the world, say to me, we need money. You don't need money, you want money. Yes, we live in an economical climate. Everything around us right now is dictated to by money and how much wealth we have. But the fact of the matter is, you could lock me in this green room here right now and you could give me food and water. I've got oxygen, I've got shelter, I will survive. I'll go a little bit crazy, but I will survive. Everything else in life is a want. And a want is an emotion. You've got to tap into people's emotions. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Now, that is the SWISH Sales Method. Okay, so we're going to sell with integrity, we're going to sell honestly. We are not going to lie, manipulate, or fabricate the truth in any way, shape, or form. We're going to get right down deep under the surface, and we're going to teach you through the process of this course how to ask the right questions at the right time in the right tone to really open people up.